Welcome to NBA Stories. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting and talked about questions of the 2025-26 NBA season. Could Giannis Antetokounmpo win the MVP again? It's a question that echoes across sports shows, fan debates, and social media discussions. Because every time Giannis steps on the court, it feels like we're watching something truly special. A player who blends dominance, passion, and leadership in a way that almost no one else in the league can match. Giannis isn't just a superstar, he's an experience. From the moment he bursts down the court with those long, unstoppable strides, to the way he swats away shots with authority, there's an intensity to everything he does. Every play feels like a statement. Every drive to the rim feels like a declaration of will. Watching him play is like watching controlled chaos. Power, speed, and grace all working together. That's what makes him not just a great player, but a generational one. Now entering another prime season, Giannis has both the legacy and the motivation to make another run at the league's most prestigious individual honor. He's already proven that he can do it, not once, but multiple times. But what makes this season different is that the competition is deeper, the league is more unpredictable, and the narratives are constantly shifting. Yet, if there's one player who can rise above the noise and claim the spotlight again, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. When you talk about MVP level players, you talk about numbers. And Giannis's numbers continue to be staggering. Year after year, he's near the top of the league in scoring, rebounding, and efficiency. He's the rare superstar who doesn't rely on finesse alone. His dominance comes from relentless effort and pure physical superiority. Even when defenders know what's coming, they can't stop him. They build walls, double teams, and traps, but somehow Giannis finds a way through. His ability to finish through contact, his touch around the rim, and his improved passing make him an offensive engine that never stops running. Defensively, he's still one of the most terrifying presences in basketball. Few players can guard all five positions the way Giannis can. He can protect the rim like a true big man, chase down guards in transition, and disrupt passing lanes with his length and timing. He's not just a scorer, he's a complete player. And that's what separates him from most MVP contenders. The award might lean toward offense, but voters respect a player who can dominate both ends of the floor. And Giannis does that better than almost anyone alive. Beyond the numbers, though, MVP is about impact. It's about what happens when a player is on the floor, how they change the rhythm of the game, how their presence affects everyone else. And when you look at Milwaukee, Giannis's impact is undeniable. He's not just their best player, he is their identity. The team's offense revolves around his drives and kickouts. Their defense relies on his rim protection and rotations, and their energy flows from his intensity. When he's on the court, the Bucks look like contenders. When he's off, they look ordinary. That kind of value is exactly what the MVP award is supposed to recognize. But even for a player like Giannis, the road to MVP is never easy. One of the biggest challenges every superstar faces is staying healthy and maintaining consistency. Giannis plays with such a physical, explosive style that his body takes more punishment than most. Every night he's banging with bigs, diving to the floor, and sprinting coast to coast. Yet, one of his greatest strengths is his resilience. He rarely complains, rarely takes nights off, and always gives 100%. In an era when load management has become common, Giannis's willingness to show up and play hard every single game is something voters notice and appreciate. If he stays on the floor this season, his case for MVP only grows stronger. Team success will be another key factor. MVP voters love winners. The award almost always goes to a player whose team finishes near the top of the standings. For Giannis, that means leading the Milwaukee Bucks to one of the best records in the Eastern Conference. Luckily, the Bucks have the pieces to make that happen. A deep roster, veteran experience, and role players who fit around Giannis's unique skill set. The organization knows what works. Spacing the floor with shooters, surrounding Giannis with defenders, and letting him attack the paint freely. If Milwaukee is winning consistently, voters will naturally gravitate toward the man driving that success. But what really gives Giannis an edge is his story. Every MVP has a narrative, a reason voters can emotionally connect to the season. Giannis' story remains one of the most powerful in the NBA. From his humble beginnings in Greece, selling goods on the streets with his family, to becoming one of the league's most dominant forces, his journey is the embodiment of perseverance and hard work. He's not a product of hype or entitlement. He's a product of effort, discipline, and faith. Fans feel that. Media members feel that. And when the season's storylines start to unfold, Giannis' authenticity will always stand out. He's also the rare superstar who stayed loyal to a small market team. In an age where players constantly switch franchises chasing better situations, Giannis committed to Milwaukee. He delivered them their first championship in 50 years. And that loyalty has become a core part of his identity. Every time he steps onto the court, he's not just playing for stats or accolades, he's playing for a city that believes in him. That connection creates a powerful emotional current that could fuel his MVP narrative once again. Still, the MVP race is about more than personal dominance. It's also about moments. Every great MVP season has them. Those unforgettable games or performances that define a player's campaign. Think of the 50-point masterpiece to clinch the 2021 title. Think of the late-game heroics, the chase-down blocks, the clutch defensive stops that swing games. Giannis knows how to produce those signature moments. They're not accidental, they're a product of his mentality. When the lights are brightest, he elevates his game. And voters remember that. They remember the nights where Giannis carries the Bucks single-handedly against elite opponents. Those performances become the emotional fuel behind an MVP vote. Of course, he'll face real competition. The league is deeper than ever. Players like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and even younger stars are all pushing toward that MVP spotlight. Each has their own narrative, the statistical genius, the new superstar, the all-around leader. In a crowded field like this, every small detail matters. Team record, availability, consistency, leadership. Giannis can't just be great. He has to be transcendent. He has to make people feel like he's the best player in the world again. And honestly, he can. Because Giannis has something many others don't, a relentless drive that never fades. You can see it in his preparation, his effort, and his humility. Even after winning titles and MVPs, he still talks about improving, about getting better, about finding new ways to impact the game. That mindset is what keeps him dangerous. It's what keeps him evolving. And it's what will keep him in the MVP race for years to come. But there are obstacles too. Voter fatigue is one of them. Sometimes voters subconsciously look for a new face, a new story, a player who hasn't yet been celebrated enough. They might think, we've already seen Giannis win, let's reward someone else. It's unfair, but it's real. That's why narrative matters so much. Giannis needs to give voters something fresh, a reason to see his season as new, different, and special. Maybe it's a reinvention of his game, a bigger leadership role, or an emotional comeback story tied to the Bucks' success. Whatever it is, he'll need to shape a story that resonates. The other challenge is that modern MVP voting tends to reward offensive versatility, especially shooting and playmaking. Players like Luka and Jokic have incredible skill sets that dominate highlight reels with dazzling passes and deep threes. Giannis's dominance, by contrast, is more physical and less flashy, but just as effective. The key will be reminding voters that efficiency and two-way excellence matter as much as aesthetics. Giannis's ability to control the paint, anchor a defense, and still put up elite offensive numbers is something few can replicate. When you think about what it truly means to be most valuable, it's hard to argue against Giannis. Without him, the Bucks would be a completely different team. He elevates everyone around him, not just through talent, but through attitude. His energy is contagious. His leadership is genuine. He holds himself accountable, and that sets the tone for the entire roster. The truth is, Giannis doesn't just want to win, he wants to dominate. He wants to prove that hard work and humility can still define greatness in an era of self-promotion and drama. That's what makes him so easy to root for. Every MVP race needs a story that connects with fans, and Giannis's story, the loyal superstar in a small market, still improving, still relentless, might just be the most compelling of them all. If Giannis can stay healthy, lead the Bucks to a top seed, and continue to deliver those jaw-dropping performances that remind everyone why he's called the Greek Freak, then yes, he could absolutely win the MVP again. The combination of statistical brilliance, emotional narrative, and two-way dominance is too powerful to ignore. And maybe that's the beauty of Giannis. He doesn't chase accolades, yet they seem to find him. He doesn't talk about being the best, he just goes out and proves it every single night. He embodies everything fans want from an MVP: consistency, humility, and heart. So, when the season winds down and the votes are cast, don't be surprised if Giannis Antetokounmpo's name rises to the top once again. Because while others may have the flash, the numbers, or the hype, Giannis has something deeper: the ability to transform effort into excellence and excellence into legacy. He doesn't just play basketball, he redefines what it means to dominate the game. And if he keeps playing with this kind of intensity and purpose, the MVP trophy might once again be heading back to Milwaukee. Thank you for watching NBA Stories. If you enjoyed this in-depth analysis, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think. Will Giannis take home the MVP this season, or will another superstar steal the spotlight? Thanks.